So today we're going to talk about geometric angles, just a little review of those, and it's Chapter 2, Section 5. So we have four types of angles. We have a straight angle, we have right angles, we have obtuse angles, and we have acute angles. Now a straight angle is no more than a straight line, as you can see demonstrated right here on the page. Straight line is a straight angle. A right angle is 90 degrees, and that's like the corner of a square. So if you have a rectangle or a square, all the corners are 90 degrees, and that's the definition of square, by the way. All of those are 90 degrees or right angles. Now let's go to the fourth one for a minute. If you imagine saying a cute little angle, that would conjure in your brain something tiny. And that is exactly what acute angles are. They are cute little angles. So anything less than 90 would be a acute angle. So this is when x is less than 90 degrees. So an image of one perhaps would be this, or even this. It's not quite 90, it's a cute little angle. So then if you think about obtuse, something obtuse is something that obstructs, right? That would be a big angle. Not quite 180, but definitely bigger than 90. So this is when x is greater than 90 degrees. So you need to know those. And you need to be able to look at a picture and classify those. Now I'll tell you a way to cheat on an electronic test. Most tests you're given scratch paper, and the edge of your scratch paper is a 90-degree angle. You can actually hold that up to your screen, and if the angle is bigger than the edge of your paper, it would be obtuse, and if it's less than, it will be acute. So you can imagine if you held a piece of paper up to this obtuse angle here, it would extend past the edge of your paper. And this is what you would be measuring. Clearly, it's bigger than the edge of your paper. It's obtuse. Okay? So there are some other ways to classify angles. But let's just look at an example of an angle first. And if we have this angle and we have this marking, that marking tells you that angle is 90 degrees. Well, because it's a straight line, this on the other side also is 90, because we just looked and a straight angle is 90 degrees, and that is a straight line. So if one side's 90, so is the other. There's also a marking in here. Looks like that. And we have a label here, 48 degrees, and we have a label here, B. And we need to find B. Well, we know that B plus .48 equals a total of 90, because those two together combine to be 90 degrees. So B plus 48 equals 90, and you solve that for B. So we'll subtract 48 from both sides, and so B will equal 42 degrees. So we're going to use a lot of relationships like that. You could also have a straight line. For instance, number 16, and the one that we just looked at was number 12. Number 16 looks something like this. We have 81 degrees, and we have B. Well, you know that's a straight line. So from there to there is a total of how much? And if you said 180, you're right. So B plus 81 equals 180 degrees. And when you solve for B, B would equal 99 degrees. I ask you now, is B an obtuse angle or an acute angle? at 99 degrees. We know it's not a right angle. A right angle is 90. This is more than 90, so it is definitely obtuse. And that's going to cover everything on 2-5. You're basically making some equations, and you're solving for those angles. But another thing that's not covered on this activity is a couple of definitions that I need you to know because I will use them in word problems. Supplementary angles are angles that total or add up to 180 degrees. Complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. And the way you'll hear this is they might give you a word problem that says two supplementary angles exist. One is 105 degrees. What is the other one? And so because they said in the problem that you had two supplementary angles, you know they add up to 180. So you would know then that 105 plus x equals 180, and so x must be 75. And in the bottom one, you might have something like two angles on a playground are complementary. One of those angles between the slide and the ground is 37 degrees. What's the angle of the other angle, the other part of the angle, or the other part of the pair? A lot of times I'll use the word pair with angles. And so you need to know, without thinking, that if two angles are supplementary, they add up to 180, and if two angles are complementary, they add up to 90. So for this one, if you want to YouTube it, you're definitely at an 8th grade level on this. And what you're looking for is classifying angles, or you're looking at finding missing angles. And this is called geometry. So if you could find some geometry games that use the specific words angle pairs, you can practice this skill. So you're looking for some free online games at an 8th grade level, and if you want to, get on YouTube and find some instructional videos to help you out. Good luck!